Welcome to Valhalla Streaming. Today I have some awesome guests to go with our three-part series of where did Valhalla come from, what's happening, and where we're going as we head into our anniversary of 1 year operating for Eve Echoes. Today I'd like to introduce our first founder, first member of Valhalla, which is Bojangles. How you going,
Bro? Doing well. Happy to be here. Miss all you guys.
And I have Radar, our Discord wizard, who has also been doing this for a lot longer than a year for Valhalla. I think he started probably a month ago leading into the creation of Valhalla. So welcome, Radar.
Hello, guys. Great to be here.
And final guest, but not least, Neo Poison, who's been the voice of Valhalla from day one, and also the Golden Horde. Hi, Neo. How you going?
Hey, guys. What's up?
So today we're doing a bit of a round table. We do have some questions planned out, but if it goes on a tangent, more than welcome to go on a tangent here. This is more of a catch-up, find out where did we come from, how did we get here, and why did we start this from the beginning. So before I go into it, I'm going to hand over to Bo. What was it like on day one when you started putting this all together? Give us a bit of a shout out. What's happening? What was going through your mind at the time, and what was going on around you?
Yeah, it's a complex answer. Cardinal and Radar, you guys were a part of it. At that time, I was working in sales, dissatisfied with the current job that I had. I was looking for something to throw my energy into, and we were all playing Stellaris, Galaxy Command. Worst game you could ever possibly play, by the way. So don't even Google it after I just brought that up. But actually, at the time that Eve was coming out, I was busy having my alliance, which was known as I'm trying to even remember it. IBT was currently getting its ass kicked by Cardinal and his group. What was it, PGT or?
Yeah.
What was your crew called? Like the name of it?
PGT. That's all.
I nailed it. Awesome. Yeah. So PGT was currently beating the crap out of my group. Radar was playing for another group with Black Knight. What was the name of your clan, Radar?
I have no idea.
Like Conquer, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Something like that. Anyway,
yes, it was Conquer, CQR. Yep.
CQR. There you go. CQR, IBT, PGT, just a whole bunch of three-letter acronym plans in this really crappy mobile game, and we all gotten fed up with it, and so we had kind of reached across the aisle in our server and rallied a bunch of people together and decided that we were going to just migrate our players into a better game called Eve Echoes when it came out. And that's really how this whole experiment started, which is just a bunch of people dissatisfied with one game hopping into another game. And I think at the time it was J-Ski and Dragon, Radar. There was that one guy, Green. What was his name? Radar, you remember that guy? The whale that like wiped the entire server because he spent all the money.
Brisbee.
Yeah, there's Brisbee. Yep. So it was just a bunch of dissatisfied people from Stellaris that just got together to form Valhalla. Fox Alliance and Dragon named it Valhalla. And so we just got together and started getting ready for Eve Echoes, man. And we really didn't have any goals or ambitions for the game other than just combining a bunch of people who like to play games together and hopefully have a good experience in a new game. And things escalated rather quickly from there.
Nice. Yeah, no, they did escalate. They've escalated and gone around like a roller coaster, up, down, all around. Neo, you've been fortunate to record and be a part of a lot of the things that happened early on in Valhalla. What did you, as a person coming in, because I don't think you actually played Stellaris, did you?
No.
You came in
once
we
he was
landed.
new. Yeah, he was part of the new guard.
Yeah.
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 So what was it like for you coming into Valhalla?
Excited again. It was mid-COVID. it was during heavy lockdown. I'm from LA, so heavy lockdowns. Nobody was going anywhere. I just had a whole bunch of time to spend, and started doing recruiting and marketing, education, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, and that's I just got right into working mode. Whatever the Valhalla needed, GHA needed, I was there. Yeah.
Right. Heavy on the recruitment originally.
Yeah.
Did a great job on that department for a long time with Captain Washu.
That was mostly him.
Yeah. Well, you did a lot of work there too. Anybody who did recruiting at Valhalla during that surge when we were growing up to like 600 players, that was a full-time job, and you were right on the front lines for that.
We were doing it full-time. Literally hours. Washu and I, we split the job load, workload. Yeah, full-time. Did the whole, like a real job, like 10 hours a day for, I think we did that for almost a month. Yeah.
Wow. And it is a full-on job, but you got to appreciate some of the things that you set up are still in place today, especially with Radar's help and whatnot in terms of the drop ball. Oh, we've got our sixth guest.
A new player has entered the game.
New player has entered the game. Welcome, Joy.
How's everyone doing?
Good to hear your voice, bud. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I know, right? Since December, I think.
Well, I think so. Yeah.
Indeed. So
Wow.
Joy, you've come into this meeting this is like an awesome thing to potentially put in. You know, you've walked in, you're fashionably late. We've started the recording, and we're gonna go from here.
Yeah. First question for you, Joy, is why are you late? Let's get on record and hear why were you late to this meeting?
Life.
Yeah.
Live.
I've quit Eve, so I have other things to do now.
Yeah. So he won at Eve is what we're calling.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only one way to win in Eve.
Yes.
Yes.
I
think we're familiar with that.
You guys won. I mean, Apollo has won, right? Apollo has.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I still play.
So Joy, we're just talking about recruitment and whatnot. We've come in from Neo. We've done a bit of an introduction. We're going through some questions, so that brings you a bit up to speed. Do you have anything that you want to pretty much cover, or have you're just coming into this cold like some of us are?
Just gonna, go with the flow, I guess. We'll see what we get.
Roger, man. No, that's cool, man. And that's it. Be willing to go on a tangent. This is just a round table, good discussion. If you say let's not include that bit after we've gone through that tangent, I'm happy to do that as well. So
Fair enough.
Wait, there's a part you missed where I had my shirt off and I was.
I'm a little jealous now.
Yeah, that happens. It's good recording, and Neon, you have my permission to use it.
Oh my goodness! Started my fans page.
Okay.
yeah, that will get you
Those
views, man.
It's
That will get you views. So we're just talking. Welcome. So we're going to have a bit of a pause here. We're just going to do a formal introduction again. Joypuker has just joined us. Joy was a leader while a leader during Valhalla during certain stages of its development, and not only that, has been a player from early stages of Valhalla's creation. We were just talking to Neo about the whole recruitment phase that he was leading and whatnot, and that was we were just about to talk about how the infrastructure is still around. What you guys set up back at the beginning is still around and used today, and is saving, like what you guys did, 10 hours a day. It's allowing players today to recruit in the matter of minutes. So you've got to appreciate what you guys set up back then has really helped fine-tune that process so that it doesn't take too much in terms of personal real life. Radar has been critical from start to finish. Radar, what's it like setting up a Discord from the start? Bearing in mind that you've been here from the start, from Stellaris all the way through to you're still even involved today. How does that feel?
Well, setting up a Discord is kind of a monumental task. You've got to figure out what everybody needs and wants, and be able to cipher through that pile of information in a way that is beneficial to all the players. It's hard getting it right, especially when you have so many different views and so many opinions on what is a good setup and what's not. I remember the first month of the Golden Horde Alliance Discord. I was in charge of that as well. The first month was actually was prior to the first month of EVE launching, when we were setting up the Golden Horde Discord. The key players at that time didn't want any text channels. They only wanted voice channels. And after a while, we decided that was just not a good setup to have, because there's too much things that can only be portrayed in text. Things like guides to ship fits and buyback resources and stuff like that. So, it was a definite learning curve. It was the first two Discords that had over 500, and then over I think we were over 3,000 at one point in Golden Horde.
3,500 radar. 3,500 at the peak.
That I was in charge of, and that was my first experience with having that massive amount of people. So, I mean, it was sad to see Golden Horde go, but it was definitely time for it.
It was to compound on that, radar. Like, one is building a Discord, but you just kind of hinted at it, which is scaling a Discord it has a lot of similarities to scaling a business's infrastructure, right? Like you had to go from 60 Stellaris guys to a multinational, multilingual 3,500 group, right? What was that like?
It was. I want to say it was challenging, but it was also kind of. I built the Discord with scaling in mind, so it wasn't too terribly terrible of a stretch to get it all set up or to handle that many people, but just managing that many text messages, I actually had to mute the server, and I actually at one point there's a setting in Discord to not allow direct messages from server members that I had to turn on because I was getting dozens of messages, every. I think one time I woke up to 50 messages, DMs, just about server stuff. And I know that's nothing to say, Bojangles, thousands that he got as the leader of the alliance.
I didn't have to answer those. Like, I could ignore a lot of it. You had to respond to quick technical needs.
That was a little terrifying. Just getting all those messages all the time.
I mean, if you look at just to jumping in here real quick to comment on that, normal like the campus, like a Silicon Valley campus company, say Google, whatever. How many employees do they have 3,000 maybe. I mean, you're dealing with that sort of workload by yourself.
Yeah, and not getting paid either.
And not getting paid.
Yeah.
So all these
And
tickets
this
to
is the real life.
Yeah.
And this is the real life challenges of games these days. You know, when a game comes out and the communication is not built into the game, you know, you've got to accommodate that somewhere else. Discord does provide that.
Oh yeah.
But there's many things that, you know, that allows a community to progress. And Discord is an element to that. So, you know, Radar, without your, I guess, the significant contribution and ongoing contribution, it's been one hell of a ride, and you've just smoothed it out even more. You know, I'm pretty sure if you didn't do the work that you've done, Bojangles, myself, Joy, Neo, we would never have even got to this point. Just
I
because
would
of
have
your
quit
ability
long ago.
We would have all won Eve a long time ago.
Yeah, we'd all be champions.
We'd all be
Exactly.
champions of Eve.
Thank you, guys.
But Joy, speaking of changes, you know, you were involved in Valhalla at two critical elements. You came in when there was the original first change of the guard as a more of a leader role, and straight into, as December this year, the theft of she who should not be named.
Yes.
Hold on, everybody just take a pause, just real quick. Cheers.
Oh, good drink, cheers. But no, getting back to, I guess, the question that I was going to ask, you know, what's it like taking up the mantle of a previous leadership when you first took over and started taking on that leadership role? What was that like?
Taking over that role was a little difficult at first. It was slightly overwhelming. Like Radar had mentioned, you know, you take a leadership role in a game like this, and an active game with members all over the world playing on different time zones. You wake up to countless messages and requests, and when things first happened and McPoopy and me were kind of at the reins there for a while. Yeah, good old McPoopy. Such a good dude. So yeah, I mean, there was the whole industrial side we had to get figured out, because when we had the change of the guard, we lost a lot of leadership there, and so it was pretty much got thrown into the whole industrial side of things, you know, and just had to figure it out from day one. So it was tough, but it was a good experience.
I would add on to that too, is like talking about compounding like Radar's experience. Like when you're a Discord admin and there's issues with the systems and the architecture, then, you know, it's usually me and like other people. Like it's an upward battle with the frustrations and so on and so forth. But you fought a very similar battle, but your challenges were is that you had so much responsibility for like the individual players' daily happiness.
Correct,
like the buyback systems, you know, the ship replacement programs, all of that directly impacted the individual player's experience. So therefore the weight of the responsibility behind every single message and every single system, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So kudos to you for when you hopped in there and just took that bull by the horns. I was amazed at how quickly you and McPoopy had rounded that system out. It was the quickest handoff turnover I'd ever seen in that game.
Much appreciated. Yeah, and you know, not to speak ill of previous leadership that was here and left. You know, I did reach out for some insight and some, you know, helpful ideas on how to keep things running, but we did make some good changes that benefited the players more. We dropped that outpost and made mining a lot easier for the players and made a lot of players a lot more happy. So it kept people more involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, great job, man.
that was critical. That was, if you remember back in the day, that was only an NPC station that we were operating out of. And that's all we had at that stage. It was a big we don't need an outpost, a player outpost station is what they're called now. But that infrastructure brought everyone together. So we were like spread out across 7 systems, and then bang, as soon as we dropped that, we were in one system, absolutely having a bit of a ball.
Yeah. It was a great idea. Cardinal, I'm glad your plan got realized.
So going on to the next stage of our journey in this particular episode is Joy. You got everything back up and running, and then December came along and shit canned everything. What was your feeling on that one?
December came around, and after taking on the responsibility of managing the buyback program, keeping prices squared away, so they're fair to the players and the corp, and also keeping ship sales running and keeping things reasonably priced. I was burned out, trying to manage all that solo. I was burned out to the point where I logged in, completed the buybacks, and logged right back out. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. And, we had that big theft that happened, and that put a damper on a lot of things. So that just added to my frustration I already had. At that point, I was ready to quit then, but stuck with it for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are dark times.
And it's important to remember that, because these shape us in our journey and our experiences. When we talk about people stabbing us in the back in our real life working experiences, we just go, well, you didn't get as bad as what Orb did to us after bringing everything back and bringing it back from the death. Oh, sorry, I said it again. Have another drink.
I heard she's still moving stuff out of P7, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't spit all over your mic, man.
That's great.
So, and that's I guess part of the journey. So Joy, where did you end up when you went back looking for, I guess, revitalization?
So a few of us had looked to step out to another corporation, and I ended up in Orc, the Outer Rim Corporation, and found a home there, and was back on the basic player level, which I was happy to be, just out there mining in the drop bear fits, and made a home there. And unfortunately, I didn't stay a basic player there.
Yep.
Fortunately, but unfortunately,
Sorry.
couldn't just stay at the bottom.
What happened?
Oh, nothing bad. I had a great experience.
Competency happens.
Thank you, Bojangles. Much appreciated. Yeah. No, it just turned into another scenario where, start taking on small leadership role, and then another and another and another. And and that's fine. I was good there. I had a lot of fun there, but I realized my time with Eve was coming to an end. Managing 21 total accounts was getting a little frustrating.
God. Oh my God. Think about how much money and more shit Ob would have stolen from us if I had 21 accounts. I could barely keep 3 safe.
Right?
Oh God.
Fair enough. And it's, I guess that's the point of Eve, is that you can, as long as you stay in the game, is you can move around, have a bit of fun, and that's, we know that Valhalla has also been that for other people in other corps as well. When their corporation has had something go wrong and they've been looking for a fresh start, Valhalla's been that place for them. Back to Bo, when you started it, you had a value system in mind. It was based around the players. How did that really become the foundation of everything you did when you're in leadership?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So in my personal and professional life, I worked for a company. Since this is being recorded, I'll just leave that off the table. But the founder of the company that I worked for had this had a central system of core values that he shared across the company. Everybody in the company was interviewed and recruited based on 5 core values: bias toward action, team over self, glass half full, customers always first. There's a 5th one I can't remember. But what we found was that the unity behind our core values, and since we recruited and hired on those core values, created this incredibly strong culture. And that strong culture took our company from like a 60-person startup to like a 600-person organization that got $1 billion valuation the past year. But despite all of our trials and tribulations, because the company's culture was so strong, we could overcome anything. So when I got the opportunity to build and scale Valhalla, I thought it was a phenomenal opportunity to implement a similar system of putting the players and the people first in some kind of a grand experiment to see how well the values that I personally believed in and that I'd seen successful in the workplace could carry over to a gaming culture, right? So we leaned into, diversity. We leaned in toward centering everything on building up the players and the community, to giving people rights and representation, giving them stake. And on the positive side of it, if you think back in like the glory days of Valhalla, not Valhalla, because Valhalla is still kicking and running, but in the glory days while Valhalla was leading the Golden Horde, we had this incredible international diverse community with Oz and all of these different groups that we were just straight smashing it, and the people were the center of everything, and the attitude was amazing. And it was a dream, man. I absolutely adored it during that time period. It became like my life obsession. But we quickly learned that in a world of space dictators, super family gel, culture, community oriented group could be easily broken if somebody could fracture the community. Right? And the community eventually fractured. It wasn't a result of Ob. That was one small component. It was death by 1,000 blows. But when that community broke, and when that community broke is when we saw the double-edged sword of that strategy, which was, democracy and rights equal bureaucracy and slow progression, right? Championing the individual and championing diversity also means a lot of little political parties and a hard time maintaining unity. And we were eventually eaten from the inside out, which was just absolutely gut-wrenching to see. But the whole experience of being able to build off of shared values and how long it worked in a game that was absolutely architected to operate differently was just a phenomenal experience.
Absolutely. And, when you're talking about, the values and structuring it that way, you set the direction of what Valhalla was. It was people like Neo, Radar that came in behind you and said, "Okay, I agree with that."
And
what do you say? I'm going to go to Radar first with this question. Radar, when you hear this, how did you feel? Like, did that give you the extra energy in terms of what you needed to do for Discord?
I go ahead and say what he wants to say, which is he probably thinks I'm like a used car salesman, like Wolf of Wall Street manipulator, and just tricked him into having to build this colossally terrifying thing, and he deep down inside is angry at me for it. No.
Well,
Love you, Radar.
Thanks, though. Sorry, Colonel. Can you say that again? I got lost in some thoughts.
Cardinal.
So listening to what Bo has just said about how we created that direction of values and player first. How did that give you some direction in creating the Discord?
Well, that just all goes back to, you know, what I said earlier. You know, just everybody had their opinions on how things needed to work, and like to use that example again of the Golden Horde Discord was originally set to be a voice only Discord. You know, just coming to a realization that, you know, putting my mind behind what is the goal of the Discord. You know, what's the purpose of having this community, and so, you know, some of the things that help drive that decisions were thinking about the player and how can we best use Discord as a resource to help the player. And I think that once I decided to, you know, say screw it and I don't care what anybody else thinks, and just charge ahead, I think keeping that as the base foundation of the decisions I was making really helped build that Discord out how it needed to be.
Hey, I also want to explain too, when Radar says Discord, for anybody who doesn't understand what that means, right? There was a primary Discord of 3,500 people. There was a marketing Discord that he helped build. There was an IT and tech Discord that he helped build, right? There was a recruitment Discord that he helped build. There was a military Discord that he helped build. And he also built all of Valhalla's Discords and all of those repeating services Discords on top of those Discords. So if you've ever seen the movie Inception, that's Radar, right? So just appreciation for the scale of that is phenomenal. If there's anything that Golden Horde had as an advantage, it was our tech. That was light years above most of the people at that time, and he did it pretty much on his own.
Yeah.
For a large part of it.
Can I just add? Yeah, let me just comment on Radar's point. It was every time I talked to Radar, it was first of all, it was hard to get a hold of him because he was so busy. And second of all, he was just handling everything. I mean, everything went to him ultimately. So yeah, again, we're not talking about like moving forward and everything is just Radar. He built something out of nothing, and just nothing can ever come close to that.
Yeah.
So Neo, when you took on the voice of the Horde and the marketing and the you put together a pretty good team early on. How did that direction that Bo kind of set help you? What was the catalyst for yourself to really grab hold of that?
You pointed out the core of it, which was Bo allowed us to do it. Without Bo's help and support, nothing would have happened. I remember coming to Bo and talking about my ideas and everything, and he was just like, "Oh, go for it." To this day, I don't know if you guys still use it. Bo's favorite quote was like, "It doesn't matter if you fuck up a million times, as long as the players feel like the players are getting what they deserve, or as long as we're doing it for the right reasons for the players, then it doesn't matter how much we fail, how much So I took that.
We're gonna fuck up 1,000 times, but we're always gonna put our players first. So we'll be able to overcome whatever gets in our way.
That's what I ran with. Sorry,
man, we had
talking.
we had good values, didn't we? And I think it's awesome too. Is Cardinal? You still have that flame lit, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, Yeah, while it is part of what we do, well and truly the foundation has been set. It's been an easy message to continue shouting from the rooftop if anyone listens to it. But it has also been a pretty good pull for players. So Joy, I wanted to put this to you as a player that's gone through. And we've had some conversations offline as well that it really does create a pull to that community. How did it feel for you when you first joined Valhalla? Because we were talking about early on before you joined us, Stellaris and where it came from. You're also a new player like Neo that came in. How was that a pull for you as a player and then continued through to leadership?
Oh man, that's way back. That's almost a year now. Trying to think. Yeah, right. Let's see. We'll cover my start of Eve. I downloaded the game off of a Facebook ad that I saw while I was at work and started playing.
The next team would love to hear that.
I know. So I wish they'd do more marketing and bring more players in. But anyway, enough of that rant. And then I started, high sec running, and then next thing you know, I found Valhalla and joined up, and it felt like a good community to be a part of. It was friendly. People.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I ask you who recruited you?
I don't even remember.
Facebook, it sounds like.
Facebook recruited me to Eve, but I don't remember who recruited me to Valhalla. I think I was just looking for corporations out in, nullsec, because I didn't want to be a high sec player. Like, I started the game and was like, I want to go right out to nullsec. That's where the action's at. That's where I want to be. So, but it was a good community to join for sure. It was inviting. Players were helpful. So it was a good experience to get into Eve and up through leadership. I mean, the working together as a team to make decisions and not having a dictatorship and say this is how we're going to operate was definitely fun.
So just as a point of reference, Joy joined us on August 27th. It's 2 weeks after the game started.
Oh, Radar.
Thank you, Radar.
Radar.
This out of Discord.
What a great admin. Hey, Joy, I do want to comment on this because this is something that I'm sure everybody here can relate to. Is my motivation at the root of all of this was that I played Eve online in college, and I always wanted to have. It's been so long. You guys are gonna have to help me. The Caldari scorpion-shaped battleship. What's that sucker called?
Scorpion.
You talking the rattlesnake?
Rattlesnake.
Yeah, called the rattlesnake, but I wanted the Black Ops version of it. Okay, that was my motivator from day one. Right? I never flew anything sexier than a cruiser my entire time because I was on Discord the whole way. Right? And Joy, you joined and you wanted to get to nullsec and get into the action. And you find yourself playing space spreadsheets.
Yes.
Until you quit the game, right?
Essentially.
Like, we all got rope-a-doped into roles that we did not anticipate.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just going to hold it there for a second. Got something happening in the background here.
That's okay. I mean...
And break for commercial.
How was that for an Always Sunny? Did I hit the Always Sunny line?
let me share my commercial with you. This is INN. My where is it?
You should have just me doing my titty dance that I did earlier with my shirt off as the waiting screen.
I can't find my window.
No, we had a juicer going in the background here, so there was no way I was able to continue that conversation. Sorry. Speaking of Juice of Life, like one of the elements I wanted to have a chat about today was real life. Yeah. So we've talked about we've had an endeavor to come into Eve, we had a rattlesnake, we had, get into nullsec, but we ended up in space spreadsheets. And some of the things that I've learnt from doing this is how to use Google spreadsheets, how to use YouTube, how to do all these other things. And these have actually played off in real life where I've things. So we're going to go a bit of a round table, what has this transitioned into real life for you, Bo? What have you learnt out of this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say that right now the reason I had to walk away from Eve, while many people think it had a lot to do with the total collapse of Golden Horde.
No, that's not how the timeline works.
Yeah, well, the reality is that I took a new job where this company asked me to help them build their sales department. I've always been a phenomenal seller. That's always been my competency in the professional world. The leadership experience coming from Eve and being able to apply a lot of the lessons and the failures of that experience in Eve has had a tremendous impact on our team's success in the real world. I'm blessed and thankful to see that we're tripling the size of our sales team now. I've got a lot of good middle management and great individual contributors. That message of culture, theme, community that we echoed in Valhalla and we echoed in the Golden Horde is how my team's oriented now. And it's fantastic when you're leading a team of 20, 30 people and you think about scalability and you've got, for whatever experience in leadership positions of a 3,000 person organization, video games or not, that has an impact. And it's had an equal role in the success of my professional job right now, just as much as my sales experience has helped us from a training perspective. The command and control lessons from Valhalla and the Golden Horde have helped us maintain scalability. Now, if I only had Radar, then we would be growing by, 600%. So Radar, let me know if you ever need a Salesforce, if you ever get a Salesforce certification. I've got a job for you.
Sounds good.
Same question to you, Nino. How's this helped you in real life? Your experiences in Eve and as Valhalla?
With Eve, it's a totally different story because I still play Eve, and I've always been a goon, and it's been an ongoing story. But with Valhalla and GHA in general, this podcast and YouTube and what else? Merchandise, everything. It was all new. I've always been a teacher in real life. I enjoy teaching high school, mostly math, and this has been totally different. Like, if not for COVID, lockdowns and teaching from home, working from home for most people, I would not have done any of this. If you saw, I uploaded a few of my Eve Online playing videos. I'm just nobody. I don't talk. I just follow. I play a Logi really well. I think I do. I Logi. I do the capitals, maneuvers, and I just follow orders mostly. Yeah. But so if not for COVID, which allowed me to start doing this marketing and YouTube and stuff for Valhalla and GHA, I would not have done any of this. So, yeah.
What about you, Cardinal?
Well, for me, as the spreadsheets, the Google documents were huge. Before I started playing Eve, didn't know they existed.
Nice.
Now I'm pretty proficient in them, being able to control a few different documents and a few different things. But one thing I learned a lot was about just how to secure certain things with two-factor security and whatnot. But Radar educated me in that process. Radar, do you want to share us? I remember you sharing a story offline about this particular thing. Something you learnt significantly is around the December situation.
one of the things that I excel in is just being a research person. If I want to learn about how to do something, I will go out and I will find everything there is to know about that topic. And during the time of the New Year's theft, that was a time when we had to figure out who it was, and as a course of investigating, we actually had someone from Red One,
Born.
Tim Catskinner.
Yeah.
He actually helped me out on that investigation, and he during that time he learned some things too, and he actually was able to use that a couple weeks later in his job, identifying someone who was a coworker who was not doing things that they should have been doing, and basically hacking into places that they shouldn't have been, and they weren't very good at it because he was able to identify who it was, and all of that from this experience of me and him working together. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So have you ever, that was a real application from Tim Katzgauer, but what about yourself? Have you applied anything that you've learned from the Discord journey, or anything in the background that you've researched and that's helped you in real life? Yourself individually?
I can't say that anything professionally or stuff like that, but definitely from a social aspect of learning myself of what my limits are and what I can and can't do, as far as what energies do I expend in certain places, and when is it time to just to let go and walk away. I think has been one of the biggest things that has been on that I've learned. Walking into the GenFed Discord for me was a nightmare. And I was like, nope, I am not touching anything. I'm not offering, just because GenFed Discord is, I don't know how many thousands of people, and that's just not a responsibility I want, especially when something's already been established. I don't want to go in and shake things up and basically burn things to the ground or whatever. So just for me, learning what my limits are, and how far to push things, and when to say nope, I'm not going to push anything, not going to push this any further.
How do you
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job at that. You definitely have been able to achieve, I guess, a bit of balance, and total hats off to you for that. So, Joy, same question. What have you been able to apply to real life that you've learned from your journey here?
Spreadsheets. Finding spreadsheets. That's using those better, being more proficient with those. I guess better professionalism with communication as well.
Wow.
I grew up working construction, so rough communication aspect, and then I'm a supervisor in real life, so I have to speak with my crew and upper management, so had to quickly adapt to more professionalism in communication. So between those two things, those are probably what I apply most.
I always thought you did a really good job of that, Joy. I never I never saw you knocked off your rocker or lose your cool in communications, even when you were burnt out after the the great heist, the great Christmas heist.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I try to remain calm and cool.
Yep. Radar, you also taught me about love language. That's one thing that I learned over the course of my time in Eve was understanding people's love languages, which has helped my fiance and I, Radar, by the way. I just want to let you know that.
Good to hear.
That's where we find ourselves. We've all been through a journey here, and we find ourselves a year down the track after playing this game. It gives us something to reminisce about, and while it's there has been good times, there has been bad times, whether they're worth it or not. We have got something out of it. But yeah, so I guess we'll hand over to final comments. We'll do a bit of a round table before we sign off. Is there anything that anyone in particular wanted to shout out about over their journey here, or shout out to anyone in game, not in game, as we finalise this little round table that we have had?
I just want to take a moment to applaud Cardinal.
Yes,
he is doing a really good job, and identify between him and the rest of the Valhalla High Council. Dirty Bird, Ancient, Mevic, Farmer. I'm just gonna name them all. Chase, Elwyn, Fast Reload. Just everybody has been a really good team, keeping Valhalla going. And it's not just the leadership; it's our players. I'm constantly seeing, even though I'm not speaking actively within the community. I do get on, occasionally and read through general chat and read through, some of the industry office and military office channels and fleet command channels, and I'm just super proud of the team and the players that Valhalla has. Really good job on everyone's behalf.
Yeah, and that's going to be part 2, is meeting the team and trying to put them on a round table and have a good chat. So, they're definitely a wonderful bunch of guys to have a chat with, and they're definitely taking it to the challenges that are coming out regularly. Our newest challenges will be in August when they release this whole bunch of new content, good, bad, or indifferent. Bo, do you have anything you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I just wanted to double down on what Radar said. You see so many things in the positions that we got to play in and the things that we got to do. At the peak of it, when things are going well, I thought I really knew how Eve worked, and I thought I knew this system, this game. And what I quickly learned, I think Joy, you learned it too, is that I was playing this game like the hare, right? When the way that the real way to enjoy Eve is playing it like the tortoise, right? There's a mental fortitude that you have to be able to keep moving and keep growing in this game. And despite everything that I did and all the fun times that we had, I didn't have that endurance. It takes a very special person to be able to take the amount of shit and drama that comes into an executive role in an organization in Eve. And while I have been knocked out of this game for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, who knows how long I've been gone, right? Cardinal, you're still in this machine running it every single day, not slowing down, just knocking it out, man. Valhalla is still kicking, and if it was up to me, Valhalla would have died a long time ago. I wouldn't have been able to get us to where we are today. And I think that shows like the evolution of finding better and better leaders over time to solve the next challenges. And I'm just really impressed with the great work that you've done, man. And I'm really thankful that Valhalla has you, along with all those high council members that they got Radar. And I hope you guys can keep the lights on for as long as humanly possible. I wanna see Valhalla keep moving long into the future. I think you're the guy for it. So thank you.
Wow, thanks, man.
Yeah, bud.
I want to throw a rattlesnake at you. But no, we're currently in a rebuilding phase, so kind of not.
Well, it also means it's your problem to solve and not mine, so good fucking luck.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Neo, do you want to... your turn, mate. Do you have any shout-out to anyone to finish this off?
Again, same as Bowen and Rita and Joy. Shout out to you for keeping Valhalla going, because Valhalla meant a whole bunch to all of us, right? It was what brought us all together. So thank you for what you have done.
Yeah.
And then I shared the screen earlier. Let me share it again. This is a news from INN. If you're not familiar with INN, Imperium, we kind of give it away. It's biased news, but it is news nonetheless. We have real journalists covering real news in EVE. In this case, EVE Echoes, and this was taken from Mama Sarah's. Talking about it mentioned us, GHA, 3 or 4 times in this 6-paragraph news. So, and it came out last month. You know, GHA has been disbanded since
long time longer.
Right. I mean, Radar and Cardinal, we did a show with Talking Station back when GHA first disbanded. It was, but still, 6 months later, or how many ever months later, they're still talking about us. Which again, we shout out to Jim Fed and Mama Sarex, who definitely we share a history with. I mean, if you want, I'll share this link to this article in the show notes. But
I'd love to read it.
Yeah, and it says a lot about what has happened. Again, I feel for Jim Fed. I feel for everybody who had to take on sort of the load of all the drama that GHA couldn't handle, which ultimately broke us apart. And so shout out to that. A shout out to Mosarex and Jim Fed for taking on all of that. I mean, the title is
taking our children, giving them a home.
Yes. The title again is "EVE Echoes Sees the Conclusion," but that's not what I ultimately want to share. What I ultimately wanted to share was the exciting things that are coming to EVE Echoes now. I haven't been playing much, but I've been talking to the devs a lot. And the devs have some really, really exciting things coming, including the capital ship modules. Originally, they were coming with the anniversary, but no more. They've pushed it back. Again, when we're looking at maybe 6-7 years before EVE Online introduced capital ships, and it really changed the game, changed everything. When they introduced capital ships, dreadnoughts, as you can see here, it was originally moved from August to September, and then now it's moved to October. So that's one thing that's going to change the game a lot. And I'm not allowed to say a lot about the new game feature called Arenas or Faction Warfare, which is a 10-on-10. I would say, based on the current development, it's no loss, which means anybody can come into the game and play with the top players of the game, or play with anyone and just enjoy the best aspects of the game So that's coming. That's coming in August. Let me see. Arena mode. Arena mode is coming soon, right? We're talking about a week away from August, and I encourage anyone who's watching and listening to check out all the exciting stuff coming to Eve Echoes. And if you're looking for a home, again, any of these modes, right? Anniversary celebration, arena mode, which is going to be huge, and complete beginner experience that's going to change. Like if you're a complete newbie, you don't know what EVE Online is, and you don't know what Echoes is, and you're just looking for a fun game to play on your mobile device. This is they've completely remade the whole newbies experience for you. Again, the common myth for EVE Online has been that it's not for newbies, not for new players, right? And there's so much to learn about the game, but they're trying to address that issue with especially the mobile player space. So they're more casual. You want to be able to pick up and play whenever you want on your cell phone. That's huge. So the EVE Echoes devs have really been focused on that. Okay, and the other stuff like insurance, LP Arena, that's more for like once you've learned about the game, you can know more about that, or you will probably care more about that later. But that's all I've got. Again, anniversary, arena mode, a lot of exciting stuff coming.
Yeah. So Nia, you're right. Like if you're going to start the game, it's better to start the game now because there's just so many more options available to you.
One last thing. What better corp or alliance to start the game with than Valhalla?
Yeah. And GenFed.
And GenFed. There's a lot of good people here in the community, and there are a lot of good sports. So while we do have some battles with other people out there, they most of the time are in good spirits. Most of the time. If you watch Reddit, you would not believe a thing I just said. Joy, any shout outs, anything that you want to say as a closeout?
Yeah, appreciate you guys being good sports even after I left, and while we were all at odds essentially, we were never personally at odds, but business is business. So when things were going on between GenFed and GHA, and things were going haywire up in cash, and raiding parties and such, I'm glad you guys stayed good sports throughout the whole thing, and definitely appreciate that for sure. So shout out to GHA and Valhalla for one, giving me a home to start the game, and two, being good sports throughout the duration.
Oh yeah. I got two closing words. The wrap for my part of it, Cardinal, if that's all right.
Yeah, man, go for it.
When my life slows down, I would like to ask, because I do want to come back. I haven't gotten my rattlesnake yet, which means that my objective for EVE has still not been met since 2012 when I started playing it for the first time. So I'm going to need a group of people to teach me how to play EVE, as ironic as that sounds. So if you guys will let me come in there and promise that I don't have to do anything but fight in battles and be a grunt on the ground, I would love to come back and do that. So save a spot for me. Two, anybody listening to this, Bojangles is still offering $100 US cash for anybody who can bring me some kill tags that have Aubrey on it. Venmo is acceptable.
Wow. Fair enough.
Just kidding. But a little pay, just saying.
There's well, not only that, I still have a 50 million is the reward for each kill mail out there as well. So
sweet, nice. Sorry, Joy. I know you just spoke about like being good sports and all that jazz, but I couldn't not say that and not have some fun.
No, that's a whole nother bushel of apples right there. That's
And match will and add another $100. So
there you go. There you go. I love it.
Think I have a reason to play EVE again.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll come
Take my
back.
rattlesnake army.
I'll come back just for a vendetta to get my money back. That's great. Hey, Cardinal, really appreciate you, man. Thank you for doing this. It is an absolute pleasure getting a chance to reconnect with you guys. I miss y'all so much.
Yeah. And thank you for this roundtable. This brings us to an end. The next roundtable is going to be next week, and I'm going to be bringing in the current people running Valhalla, and so you can get to meet a bit about them. And we'll just do the exact same thing here and have some tangents, have a good conversation, and see where it ends up. Yep. So again, thank you for everything. Sign off, everyone, and Bo, last words.
That's it, man. This is your show now, man.
All right. Neo, anything?
Valhalla forever.
Yeah.
Once a Viking, forever a Viking. Joy?
There you go.
No, stay strong. And Cardinal, you can always DM me anytime if you need some industrial advice, which I know you're good on.
I appreciate it. Radar?
I don't have anything else.
No, guys.
Good job, everybody.
Thank you, and thank you for listening. If you've made it this far, fly together, fly dangerously.
See you guys.
See you guys. Thank you. That was awesome. Appreciate it. All the best. All right,
everyone. Y'all have a good night, day, whatever it is.
God bless. Be good or be good at it, boys.